Okay, quick thoughts on the final, right? As expected, England lost, right? You might say, oh, that's not fair, bro. Come on. Honestly, Spain were cooking that whole tournament, and they play with a structure and a style that is just embedded throughout the whole nation. And we were just winging it. Come on, let's be honest. We have a manager that wouldn't even get a job in the Premier League side. He botched his entire system to try and fit Luke Shaw in. Ironically, when we started to play quite well, we changed the system. Once we'd popped Luke Shaw back in, we went back to the original system. Wasn't quite working. We had probably the world's best attacking right back in Trent, never really kick a ball. Palmer, one of the players of the season in world football, every time he came on, made an insane difference. Couldn't seemingly get on the pitch. Ivan Toney barely got any minutes, and he is a much better hold-up than Kane. Watkins barely got any minutes, and Kane stank up the entire tournament. And I know Kane's our top goal scorer, but I'm English. I'm giving my opinion. This is what I think. I think he's a serial bottler. I think he's been involved in so many finals, so many chances to win stuff. He just never quite performs in those big games. He never quite elevates himself to that level. At the end, you've got Bellingham smashing things up on the pitch, looking all upset. Kane's a bit like, yeah, that's disappointing. Another runners-up medal for me. I think the tactics, all right, you've got the game plan, whatever the game plan is, you set out, you do your game plan, and it goes wrong. And in fairness, Gareth Southgate adjusts. He takes off Harry Kane, brings on Watkins, then after a while brings on Palmer. We score, but because he's taken off Mainu for some bizarre reason, even though it probably should have been Saka, we've now got no control of the midfield. So at 1-1, you should be then trying to shore up the midfield again. Instead, it was like basketball, football, end to end. And eventually we get caught. I don't think Kyle Walker played well, really, all tournament. He's not good at attacking. He's there for pace. He's really good at defending pace. But when it comes to those intricate 1-2s and stuff like that, I don't think he's an absolute sort of irreplaceable right back. I think you could have played Trippier at right back or Trent. Okay, I think Pickford was decent. I think he played well that game. But Gareth Southgate came off the pitch and was like, yeah, we just didn't keep the ball well enough. Well, the whole tournament, your directive has been pump it long with Pickford. Like, we're not playing for Everton. He's just hoofing it long every single game. So then when your fullbacks do get up and you hoof it long, if you lose the ball, they're just at you, which is what kept happening the whole game. You've got him at the end saying, we had to deal with a lot. You know, we had to try get to sort the system out because we had no left back. I'm like, well, you didn't take a left back, you know. You've got to think about, like, Palmer, Gordon, Bowen, Watkins. You've got Trent. All these people are barely even featuring. We didn't even do any resting. We didn't even win the group stage clear enough to do any resting, so players were tired. I just think we were starting to get overrun in that second half, and he was just putting on attackers but not actually changing the system or controlling the game. I think we had some good resilience, but I think we were getting through games due to individual class as opposed to a team style and a team shape. We were just getting dug out by class, right? I'm not surprised we lost, and I'm not even that annoyed. It's annoying that our golden generation is totally wasted by another poor manager that wouldn't get a high-level job, right? But again, I do think it was there for the taking. You forget everything. We've got to the final. Things have gone wrong. We get ourselves back at 1-1, and then at 1-1, obviously, what's been happening is we get ourselves back to 1-1, and then we score, or we go to pens, hold on, and win. However, against Spain, it didn't look like it was going to go to pens or even extra time. It looked like we went to 1-1, we resat back, and it looked like they were going to score, and then there was no secondary plan. It was like the plan initially started, he did some changes, we got the equaliser, then it was like, now what? I just, I mean, if you want to, you know, you don't need to over dwell on it, to be honest, because Spain played like a a well drilled team. But I mean, Cucurella was probably one of the players of the tournament. But been realistic, we know Cucurella can't really defend, and he can't actually go past a man. What he's good at is bombing forwards and doing a bit of sidewards passing and linking up. We should have attacked his side completely, and we didn't. I'm not trying to say I knew this after the fact. I was chatting to the people whilst the game was going on. And if we look at the starting lineup, who played well? Gay, Mainu, maybe you could say Bellingham, maybe Stones was okay. But people didn't really perform. The players that came on, Watkins, he didn't really get any service, did he? He was even asking for service, but the kicks were long, the passes were long, on the bench. Wharton never used. Trippier played the whole tournament in the wrong position. Ivan Toney barely used. Ramsdale not used. Palmer used very infrequently. Konza didn't play, even though he played really well. They could have brought him on at 1-1, shored it up. Gordon, Gomez, Gallagher, Eze, Bowen, Trent barely played. He basically just played the exact same team the whole tournament, which is fine if it's working, but it clearly wasn't because we were having to come from behind every single time. We didn't really test the goalkeeper at all during that whole match. I think that's the big thing, Everyone wants to say, it's harsh on Harry Kane, what can he do? I read a stat, he's had 78 tournaments he's played in, he's not won a single trophy. I think it's 6 or 7 finals, no wins, no goals, no assists in any final. Unfortunately, you've got to, look there and say, he's not quite performing, is he? I don't know, man. I thought Spain were going to win. When we got the equaliser, I was very excited and I thought, now we're going to push on, but there was no pushing on. It was annoying. Yeah, it was a bit annoying, to be honest. Back-to-back finals losing. I just don't think he's a very good manager. I think ultimately, if I was to sum it up, you start and you play Spain and they're going to dominate the ball. And you need to keep possession. So telling Pickford to boot it long is just crazy. Getting Kyle Walker to whipping crosses is pretty crazy. And then your goal is, right, they're going to dominate the ball, so we counter-attack. To then counter-attack with Harry Kane, who did nothing, makes no sense. He's not a counter-attack player. So the first whole half was just Harry Kane dropping deep, Foden then having to push up. So we were kind of Foden's not good up front. That's not his job, is it? That's not what he's special at. And Harry Kane dropping back wasn't offered anything, not even any physicality. I feel like the English players, they're not very street smart. They're not winning fouls or nicking fouls or play acting or whatever you've got to do to win. We're a bit nice, aren't we? So trying to play counter-attack football with basically Foden up front and Harry Kane dropping back made no sense. We changed it, and somehow Cole Palmer, brilliant player, man. The reason I like Palmer is you could see him when he was warming up, he was waving to someone in the crowd, and I was like, he's relaxed, man. He's enjoying this big occasion. Get him on. I even tweeted it. I said he's looking relaxed. He loves a big occasion. He's got the aura, man. Get him on, and he scored. I don't know what he was waiting for. Morata was coming and linking up and doing nice passing. If you want Harry Kane to do that, that's fair enough, but he wasn't even doing that. He was coming short and running in behind. We went back to the original formation and system we had in the first 3 games for some reason. We just had nobody going in behind. The goal forced some subs. He did some subs. Individual class got us level. And then you've got a disjointed team, right? You've got players that are all in kind of different positions and your team's a bit disjointed, and then you've got to rechange it again, and he didn't have that in him. So maybe it's a bit unfair to blame it all on Southgate, because it does come down to players as well. But yeah, it wasn't good, was it? I don't think it was good at all. in terms of they had 65% of the ball. We had 4 shots on target. Barely any touches in the box. You know, I think this is like a big tell, right? Spain committed, I think it was 12 fouls when I saw it pop up. I think we'd committed at least half their fouls, and they had 10 corners. So they're winning the ball, they're fouling a bit, they're breaking up the play, and they're winning the set pieces. I think Spain were just a level above us. I mean, yeah, it's just laughable that he said, "Oh, the reason we lost was we didn't keep the ball well enough." Well, I mean, that's on you, mate, isn't it? Like, you've got to pick players that can keep the ball. So, yeah, I mean, disappointing to lose, but kind of expected. I just don't rate Southgate at all, and I'm not entirely blaming it on Southgate, but I am. You know what I mean?